Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Elizabeth. I am so happy you found this little corner of the internet. Today's video is taking you through our first IUI, and I am currently on day 5 of letrozole, so let's backtrack a little bit. My husband and I have been trying to get pregnant for a year now, and I guess at the beginning of January, we decided to take the next step in our fertility journey and head to a clinic. And this was preempted by trying to get pregnant for a year. And also we made a decision in December, around Christmas time, that if my period came, we were gonna go to a clinic because it was just getting to be a little bit stressful, a little bit long of a wait, and I just really wanted to see if there was anything going on or anything we could do. So my period came on January 2nd, and when my period came, I emailed the fertility clinic that we were gonna use and got everything started. So it is now the 2nd of February. So everything has happened pretty quickly, which I'm so grateful for. I really thought I was pregnant like between Christmas and New Year's. That was like my 2-week wait. And I had convinced myself that like this was it. I am feeling like twinges and I'm like super tired and like a little bit nauseous and also like starving and super hungry, and I don't know, there was just like something that was like, I think I'm pregnant. And then when my period came on the 2nd of January, it was one of the most crushing things. If you've listened, I also have a podcast and I did like a whole breakdown of our fertility journey a few months ago. And if you listen to that episode, I will link it down below. But in that episode, I talked about the fact that in June, I remember getting my period in June. And again, leading up to that period, I was just like so convinced that I was pregnant. And so getting that period and it kind of marking the halfway point between when we started, or like the 6-month mark of when we started to then, it just felt like so devastating. And then again, this like January period, this like New Year's period, felt so heartbreaking and disappointing and crushing. And so I knew leading up to that, based on those feelings, that if I got my period, I wanted to go to a fertility clinic and get this show on the road. So we went to a fertility clinic, and everything is moving pretty fast now. So we did all of the baseline tests. I did a sonohystogram. I had all my blood work pulled, did a transvaginal ultrasound and a regular ultrasound. All of those results came back completely normal. And then my husband also had a semen analysis, blood work pulled. I guess that's it. Men really have a good thing going, eh? And again, everything came back totally normal. So based on all of that, our doctor at the fertility clinic has suggested that we do an IUI, and I have shorter cycles. So my cycles are typically 25 days long. I ovulate late based on that cycle length. So I ovulate around day 14, and that means that I could have low progesterone, and that just isn't enough time for implantation to actually occur. So we are currently I'm doing letrozole right now, so 5 days of letrozole, and then we'll do the IUI, and then I'll be on progesterone after that for that like 2-week wait, before we do the beta. So that is currently what we are up to. no big deal. Not a lot going on at the moment. And in terms of being on letrozole, I have noticed very few side effects. So as I mentioned, I'm on day 5 of letrozole on yesterday, so day 4. I was so like sad, like from the moment I woke up in the morning. I don't know if it's just like the weather, and we've had so much gray, rainy days here lately, but literally like 2 completely inconsequential things happened yesterday morning. They were both like DM conversations that I was having that I took the entirely wrong way and was like so upset about them both, and I started crying. And then like Topher, my husband, and I were talking about literally like nothing, and I started crying. And it's just like can we turn the faucet off, please? And then the other day I had some headaches and some like tiredness, but today I feel like great, totally fine. So that is it for the letrozole side effects for me right now anyways. Today is my last day taking it, and then we will have an appointment at the clinic next week, so I will take you along for that. So I'll see you then. Okay, I just got done with my fertility appointment. So I did blood work and a transvaginal ultrasound today. This is part of the cycle monitoring part of an IUI. So what they're looking at is follicle size and the thickness of your endometrial lining, as well as all of your hormones in your blood work. So like estrogen, progesterone, LH, FSH, that kind of thing. So now I am just waiting to hear whether I'm doing my trigger shot, whether I need to do a trigger shot, or if my body's naturally ovulating right now. If I need to do a trigger shot, when that would be, and if I need to do another cycle monitoring appointment before they trigger. So those are like the 3 options right now. Yeah, I don't know. It's a lot to comprehend, I find, like, and now I'm just like in this waiting game of like waiting for the clinic to call me and the nurses to call me to tell me like what the next step is. And because I don't live in Toronto where the clinic is, and if I need to do a trigger shot, I would need to get the trigger shot from my fertility clinic because they have a pharmacy, and it's like trigger shots aren't commonly available at pharmacies. So I have to wait to hear about whether or not I'm doing a trigger shot, and if I am, then I need to go pick it up. And if I'm not doing a trigger shot, then I can just go home, and then the IUI will be tomorrow. And or like option C is the doctor wants to wait another day, do another round of blood work and ultrasound to see like if my follicles grow anymore, or they will keep growing, but like check tomorrow the size of my follicles and the thickness of my lining. So it's just a bit of a waiting game right now. It's day 13 of my cycle. Today's the day. Oh yeah, it's such a lucky number. We did the trigger shot like 2 nights ago, and now we are doing the IUI. Dropped off the sample. Let's do this. Blanket, recliner, life is good. Good morning. I am 15 days past my trigger shot, and there's a spider. We'll deal with that in a minute. 15 days past my trigger shot, 13 days past my IUI, and 12 days DPO past ovulation. So let's do a pregnancy test. I don't want to go into the clinic. I have an appointment in a couple days at the clinic to do like a beta blood test, and I don't want to go in blind. I would like to be prepared if it's going to be negative. So let's just do a couple of pregnancy tests to see where we are at. I have been having a couple of symptoms lately. First, coffee just tastes really weird to me right now. Like I need my coffee to be super watered down. Otherwise, it's just like too acidic. Not even from like a heartburn perspective, just from like a taste. I have been having the worst headaches, but I think that's from the progesterone suppositories. And I've had like some mild cramping, but it's off and on, like nothing is consistent. So like no huge symptoms, but also no period symptoms. And normally if I wasn't on progesterone, I would have got my period yesterday. So I guess technically I'm like 1 day late. Okay. So I'm doing a bird and bee test. These ones are super accurate. And then I'm also gonna do a first response, because apparently these ones are like the best for like early detection. So let's just give these a go. Worst that happens is it didn't work. And that is not the end of the world. Also, we need to take a moment for the sunrise. So let's start with the first response. Now we wait. And the bird and bee. Let's wait a couple minutes and come back.